the fourth video of our series, Resources and the Raven. In the first few videos, we talked about how important it is to understand where things come from in the beginning and learn that these items are called natural resources. Every single thing in your home, every single thing in your school actually originally came from our planet. We've also talked about it's important to realize that we have to be fair when we use natural resources as we are sharing our planet with animals and everyone else living here. So we wanted to start looking at where do things go at the end? So for here, we have this plastic bottle. Where is the worst place that this could go? Right? Raven knows it too. It would be really bad if that plastic bottle ended up in the ocean. That makes a very unhappy Raven and very unhappy Earth. Now, what's one step better? Where else could this bottle go instead of it going into the ocean? Yeah, it could go to the landfill. At least it's being safely taken care of. Now, what is one step better than that? You knew that one. Recycling. So you did notice, though, when we looked at some of the videos of how recycling takes place, it takes a lot of energy, and energy is also a natural resource. So what's one better than recycling? Reuse. So if we can reuse something again, like with my bottle, I can maybe use it to hold a flower. It could be able to have more longer life. Now, what's one step higher than reuse? Reduce. And we can talk about maybe using a reusable bottle instead of having to use a plastic bottle every time. Now, Ree's favorite reimagine. And that's what we've been doing right now. We've been talking, we have been learning, and these are the times where it's really good to have that moment of, wait a minute, why? Reimagine a lot of times starts the word why. Now, there's a story that Ree told me called The Little Girl and the Fish. So once upon a time, there was a little girl who was watching her mother make her favorite dish. And so the mother had gotten a fish from the market, cut the head off, cut the tail off, and put it in this big pot. And the little girl went, Mom, why do you do it that way? And the mother went, I don't know. That's the way my mother did it. So the little girl went and asked her grandmother, why do you cut the head off, cut the tail off, and put it in a big pot? And the grandma said, I don't know. That's the way my mom did it. So the little girl went to her great-grandmother and said, Great grandma, why do we cut the head off, cut the tail off, and put it in this big pot? And the great-grandmother said, well, when I made this dish, I only have a small pot. So the little girl realized people kept doing the same thing, not because it was necessary, it was just the way it was always been done. And sometimes all of us need people to take that reimagine moment and ask that why. Let me give you an example from a student here in Portland. A student had come up and said, you know what? I noticed that at night, sometimes the lights are on at the school and no one's there. Why are the lights on? That was a good question. So the little boy asked and wrote a letter to the night custodian and said, I wonder if we are able to turn off all the lights at night to save energy. They also were able to put up signs in the classroom saying, if you're not in the classroom, turn off the lights. So that student was listened to, and what was amazing is the school got their energy bill for the next month, and it was down $100 just by asking that why and coming up with an action. So even youth can come up with amazing things that can really help us adults change our behaviors and make it better for our planet. Are you ready for a eco challenge? You have two options. One is for you to take a piece of paper and trace your fingers. And then in that drawing, I'd like you to write or draw 5 things that you're either already doing or that you might want to try. I would like to reduce the number of papers I use by using both sides of the piece of paper. Things like that. Now, if you want a bigger challenge, you can go to our website and download our Eco Action Challenge worksheet. And this will help you, just like that boy at the school here in Portland, be able to figure out what is some why that you've noticed at your home, at your school, or in your neighborhood. What is something that you think would really help the earth and your community if people change their behavior? The worksheet will help you go through and figure out what is your question, what is the benefits. You have to make sure that people know that things are going to get better if they change their behavior. Then identifying what are the barriers? Why aren't people doing that? So it could be like at some schools I've heard that sometimes students say, why is there paper towels in the recycling bin? The paper towels, even though it has the word paper in it, they are not recyclable. They have to go in the garbage. And so one of the barriers that students notice is that, you know what, the recycling bin is closer to the sink than the garbage can. So maybe the students don't know which bin is which. So maybe if they could label it or move it to a different spot, we could solve the problem. And so what they did is they did that action, and then they went back a few weeks later and went, you know what, people are changing. They're able to put it in the correct spot. So if you finish one of these eco challenges, either tracing your hand or filling out the Eco Action worksheet, and have your adult or teacher send me a picture of it, we can see all the progress that you're doing to help your community and our whole area. It's been wonderful to spend this time with you. Ree, are you ready to go? It's going to be a great day. Bye.